Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they're unlucky or because the world conspired against them. They fail because they never really began. They fail in silence, buried under the weight of their own thoughts. Not by fire, not by storms, but by whispers, whispers from within. A voice they never named yet obeyed like a tyrant king. It says, "You're not ready. You'll look foolish. What if you try and fall flat?" This is not the voice of reason. This is fear disguised as logic, a hidden enemy that lives between your ears, one that studies you better than you study yourself. And while you're busy searching the world for answers, it builds a prison out of your indecision. Every failed dream, every abandoned ambition, every idea you talked yourself out of wasn't stolen by someone more powerful. It was surrendered to doubt, voluntarily. You see, the battlefield isn't outside of you. It never was. The war is inside, between who you are and who you could be. Between the pull of greatness and the comfort of safety. Between your higher self and the voice that says, "Stay small, stay quiet, stay hidden." But here's the truth they don't tell you. Most people never even meet their true potential because they never go deep enough to fight this invisible war. And you know why? Because it hurts. Growth isn't gentle. It doesn't ask politely. It rips. It tears. It shatters every illusion you built to protect your ego. When Edison was laughed out of labs, when Disney was told he lacked imagination, when Ford was labeled insane for thinking a machine could replace a horse, they faced this same inner voice, but they refused to kneel. They made fear their fuel. Doubt became the sharpening stone for their will. Because the mind, my friend, is not your enemy. It only becomes one when you give it orders born from fear. It is not the dream that fails. It is the discipline. It is the clarity. It is the belief. And belief is where the war begins. Let's talk about belief, not the kind you recite in affirmations, but the kind that lives in your spine, the kind that survives rejection, starvation, mockery, the kind Lincoln carried through every election he lost, every failure he endured, the kind that said, "I am not what they call me. I am what I decide to become." Because belief is not inherited. It is forged. Forged in solitude when the world has turned its back. Forged in nights where no one is watching, and quitting would be so easy it almost feels like peace. But belief doesn't come from wishing. It comes from doing, and most never do enough to earn it. They say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But the great ones say, "I'll see it when I believe it." They see with vision. They walk by faith, not sight. Because clarity is the weapon that cuts through confusion. And clarity only comes when you stop running from yourself. You want to know why most people fail? Because they chase too many things and master none. Because they listen to 10 opinions and forget the voice inside. Because they want results before sacrifice, applause before mastery, certainty before action. But clarity isn't given to the hesitant. It's earned by the bold. You have to sit with yourself long enough to hear your own voice before the noise of the world drowns it out. Before the deadlines, the critics, the timelines, the likes, the trends, before all of it becomes louder than your purpose. Your vision is not a group decision. Stop asking people who've settled for average if you're aiming too high. Clarity comes in stillness. And in stillness, you begin to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Not everyone will understand it. And that's the point. They're not supposed to. Your vision wasn't sent to them. It was sent to you. And if you won't protect it, no one else will. This is where purpose enters. And purpose is not passion. Passion fades. Purpose endures. Passion is the flame. Purpose is the furnace. Purpose is what drove Carnegie to rise from poverty, to become the richest man of his time, and give it all away to build libraries for generations he would never meet. It's what pushed Mandela through 27 years in a cell. What pulled MLK up on podiums when death was waiting around every corner. Purpose is not about you. It's about what moves through you. It's not comfort. It's calling. And it asks one question. What pain are you willing to endure for something greater than yourself? Because pain is the price, and purpose is the reward. And here's the truth that carves through the lies. You will suffer either way. You will suffer the pain of growth or the ache of regret. One builds you. The other buries you. Most people fail not because they chose the wrong path, but because they chose no path at all. They sat at the crossroads, waiting for certainty to arrive like a chariot. But certainty doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who walk. Discipline is the bridge between belief and reality, and that bridge must be built every single day, nail by nail, choice by choice, hour by hour. Discipline is the silent architect of every masterpiece you've ever admired. You didn't see Da Vinci sketching 1,000 drafts before the brush touched canvas. You didn't see Kobe Bryant in the gym at 4 a.m. while the world was still dreaming. You only saw the result. But discipline is what forged the result in fire. Without it, your dream is a fantasy. With it, your dream becomes inevitable. Because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It demands what you committed to. And in that space, where feelings end and decision begins, is where success is born. But there will be days, dark ones, silent ones, days where nothing moves and no one claps, where you question if it's even worth it. This is the part most people never talk about. They show the mountaintop but hide the climb. They sell the destination but not the discipline. They forget to mention the nights you'll spend alone, facing nothing but a blank wall and your own mind, asking questions that feel like echoes in an empty room. Am I enough? Am I crazy? Does any of this even matter? And if you haven't asked those questions yet, you haven't gone far enough, because growth requires identity death. The old you has to die for the new you to rise. You can't carry your insecurities into excellence. You can't drag your doubts into destiny. Something must be left behind. This is why discipline isn't just about action. It's about allegiance. Who are you loyal to? The version of you that fears, or the version of you that believes? And once you choose belief, truly choose it, you ignite something far more dangerous than discipline. You awaken momentum. Momentum is invisible, but when it arrives, it's undeniable. It's the wind behind the sails of the greats. It's the unseen force that turns struggle into rhythm. It doesn't just move you forward, it pulls you there. But most never taste it, because they stop too soon. They start with fire, then retreat at friction. They want the high, but not the heat. They want the glory, but not the grind. Momentum is not found in motivation. It's found in consistency. Small steps, repeated, relentlessly. And then something clicks. The wall that once felt immovable begins to crack. Doors that were sealed begin to shift. And life begins to bend in your favor, not by chance, but by force. But even momentum is not enough, because life, in its ruthless honesty, will still throw you storms, unexpected ones, sudden ones, the kind that don't knock. They break the door off the hinges. And this is where the final gatekeeper waits. Resilience, not toughness, not blind positivity, but a spine of steel forged through fire. Resilience is when everything you plan breaks apart, and you keep building anyway. It's when they tell you no 100 times, and you walk back in like it was the first. It's what Lincoln showed after defeat, after death, after loss, and still led a broken nation. It's what Jobs revealed when he was exiled from the company he built, only to return and transform the world. Because the world will test you, not to destroy you, but to reveal you, to show you what's real, what's unshakable, what's true. And if you don't know who you are, the world will decide for you. And that is the ultimate failure. Because failure isn't falling short, it's falling silent. It's not hearing no, it's saying it to yourself. It's not losing, it's never daring to win. But when you rise, again and again, after each blow, you become unbreakable. Not because you were never broken, but because you decided to build something stronger in the rubble.